good skill set, good interpersonal skills in terms of being able to get up and go meet people and network, Kathy.
That's the other thing. A sphere of influence, a network, a group of people, very diverse group of people that can help you be successful.
Talk about that a bit, Kathy.
So, you know, right now, younger professionals, young people, they have mastered social media. They can do things in circles around us, Jim, even though we're
really
trying very hard to learn Facebook and Twitter and LinkedIn and use all these new platforms. However, that the art of actually building a mutually beneficial relationship and being with people, not just online, is really critical to building your entrepreneurial venture. So you're going to need people that understand your idea, understand you, have the money to support you, have access to people who can fund you or hire you, and they may not all be in your peer set. They may be older, they may be younger, they may be different genders or different races, they may be in different countries. So your ability to really be effective with people. And this is why I love networking and why I wrote the book, Networking Ahead for Business.
Is our cameraman ready for this, Catherine?
Networking Ahead for Business.
Book number 2, what a perfect segue. Kathy's book is Networking Ahead for Business, right? So this is out,
absolutely. Kathy. This was launched at the end of 2010, and I do a lot of speaking and training on business networking skills.
Right.
For accountants, for attorneys, for financial planners, for women, professional women, for college students. So if you want to manage a career, if you want to launch an entrepreneurial venture, if you want to build your business and land new business, networking is a fabulous skill set, just like presentation skills. And again, it's people understand what needs to be done, but there's this hesitation.
Networking is hard, Kathy. Good networking is hard. I think when I am talking with young students, whether they're undergraduates, or when I work with MBAs whose average age is 29, and I mean, these are very, very bright young men and women. They really are. They have to learn that when you network, you really have to know what you're doing, and you have to be able to engage the person. You have to be able to tell the person in a relatively short period of time why it is you're networking, what it is you aspire to do, et cetera, et cetera. And I must tell you that I'm a little worried when I'm working with some undergraduate students, and even the MBAs to a degree. They are so used to, over the last 3 or 4 years, communicating with social media. And I mean, they're just absolutely brilliant at it. Right. But the reality of it is, when you put that device down and you have to talk to me one-on-one, like in a job interview or something else, you have to be able to conduct a conversation with me.
Look you in the eye, shake your hand professionally.
Body language, the whole thing. And I have to tell you, this generation, the millennials, are struggling with it, Kathy.
Right. And I see that when I teach at the college level. But then there's a few standouts. There's college students, for example, at Trinity University, where I've given a couple courses. And there's a few of them that will reach out to me, that will write me handwritten notes, that will ask me for things after the meeting, follow up with me. And that so impresses me, Jim, that I find myself going out of my way to help them.
I think at the very practical and pragmatic level, the thing that the young ones should know is that if you're sitting there and using the internet and trying to find a job, the hit ratio is about 3 to 10%.
Right.
The reality of it is that networking lands you anywhere between 65 to 75% of all jobs that are gotten.
Absolutely.
So I mean, when you go to balance one against the other, there is no balance. It's all networking, Kathy. But more often than not, unless sometimes you get really mad at them, they'll spend most of their time on the computer posting.
Right. As will a lot of adult job seekers.
Exactly.
So
but they should know better.
They should.
At least the young ones have the, not the excuse, I'm just starting out, I got to be educated. You know, they should know better.
So for job seekers, Jim, it's so important. I was just speaking to an ex-colleague who's a vice president out in California, and he's out of work, and it's so important, I said to him, that you maintain your vitality, that during this transition time you eat well, you exercise, you rest and relax, you learn. Because when you show up to do the networking or the job interview, your vitality, even if you're 65, if you're vital, that energy is translated.
It's so funny that you say that, Kathy. Just very, very briefly, I gave a seminar recently where in the audience I had really young people in their early 20s and I had older people in their 50s and 60s, right? And I said, and I simulated. I did a little exercise. I did a mock interview with myself, right? And what happened is that I was interviewing with no energy, with no energy or enthusiasm whatsoever. And I said, okay, I'm 25 years old. And I interviewed with no energy and enthusiasm. I said, you going to hire me? And they said, Not really. And I said, why is that? Well, you don't know very much. And that's not the reason. The reason is when you're in your 20s, I expect you to have energy and enthusiasm.
Right,
you don't have anything else.
Right.
When you're in your 50s and 60s, right, and you have no enthusiasm, I know you have experience, it looks like you're checking out.
Right.
You're in a rut, and all you're doing is looking for a job, getting ready to retire.
Right. Unattractive hiring
Did
platform.
the same simulation. I did the same thing. So anyway.
Brilliant idea.
So
and they
anyway.
can see it for themselves.
Yeah.
So bringing energy into the networking context, into the job interview context. It's as important as what you know and how you answer the questions.
Well, the other thing is too, Kathy, you and I both know that probably anywhere between 75 and 85% of all effective communication is nonverbal.
Absolutely.